Now coming to Forest and Wildlife Act. The Forest Act first it was came into force in 1927 and amended in 1984. It was enacted to consolidate the law related to forest and transit the forest produce and duty leviable on the timber and other forest produce. In the now coming to Wildlife Protection Act, it came into force in 1972 and rule was amended in 1973, and the amendment was done in 1991, which provides for the protection of birds, animals and plants and other matter connected with them. Okay, now coming to Forest Conservation Act. As we all are aware that there are three acts that is very important related to environment. One is Forest Act, Water Act and Air Act. So the forest came into force into 1981, so 80, and rule was enacted in 1981 and provides for the protection of and for the conservation of forest. Now, what are the penalties under this Wildlife Protection Act, which came into force on 9 September 1972? Chapter 6 deals with the prevention and detection of offences, right? The Section 51 deals with the penalties. Any person who contravenes any provision or rule of this act shall be punished with the imprisonment of extent of 3 years or the fine extending up to 25,000 or both, right? Now in Indian, this under section 33 of this act, imprisonment of a term of 6 months whosoever violates the this is for the Indian Forest Act. So 6 months and more or fine with rupees 5,000 or both in the penalty for any person who violates any of rule under this act. Okay, next comes the Water Act. As I already mentioned, this forest, water and air are the most important acts under this EPA, which came into force in 1986. The Water Act, it came into force in 1882. It was in the British era. It was started in British era. So it allows private rights to use the resource, that is groundwater, by viewing it as an attachment to the land. It also states that all the surface water belongs to the state and it is a state's property. Now, Indian Fisheries Act. It was started in 1897. What was the objective of this act? Establishes two sets or panel of offences whereby the government can sue any person who uses dynamite or other explosive substances in any way, whether coastal or inland, with intent to catch or destroy any fish or the poisonous fish in order to kill. If you talk about the River Board Act, this is the first act under Water Act, which came into force after British era, after independence, right? So the objective of this act is to enable the states to enroll. The central government is setting up an advisory river board to resolve issues in interstate cooperation. In 1972, there was another act, Merchant Shipping Act, aims to deal with the waste arising from the ships along and the coastal areas within the specified radius. Again, now the main Water Act was enacted in 1974. Water pollution and prevention and control of pollution. The objective is to establishes an institutional structure for prevention and abating water pollution. It establishes standards for water quality and effluent. The pollution control board, the Central Pollution Control Board was constituted under this act. So the CPCB and the State Pollution Control Board, firstly the Central Pollution Control Board, was constituted under this Water Act, right? Now coming to Water Cess Act. So this is also called Water Prevention and Control Pollution Cess Act. The provide for the levy and the collection of fees on the water consuming industries and local authority. Now what we do, we pay the bill for water that we are using day to day life. So we get the monthly, we have to pay the monthly payment of monthly, we get the bill of monthly consumption of water. So this was started in 1977 under Water Cess Act, right? So in 1991, the Coastal Regulation Zone Notification, it was started in 1991. This regulation, it puts the regulation of various activities including construction. It gives some protection to backwater and estuaries. Now coming to the third act under EPA, that was very important, the Air Act. The Factory Act was enacted in 1948 and amendment was done in 1987. The objective first to express the concern for working environment for the workers. Okay, 1981, the Air Prevention and Control Pollution Act was enacted. So this was enacted under the Article 253 of Indian Constitution, which provides for the control and abatement of air pollution. So now coming to 1982, the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Rule Act was started in 1981. The rule was enacted in 1982. So what was the objective? It defines the procedures of the meetings of boards and the powers entrusted to them. Okay, now coming to 1982, the Atomic Energy Act, it deals with the radioactive waste. I am not talking in details because it needs much time to elaborate these acts. I am just highlighting the key points of just in one or two line, trying to highlight the key points of these acts and the amendments, right? So if you have any query, you can write it to me at the end. I will be providing my detail. If there is any query or any questions related to this presentation, you can send it to me directly. Okay. Now coming to the 1982, the Atomic Energy Act, it deals with the radioactive waste. 1987, the Air Prevention Control Pollution Amendment Act, it was enacted in 1987. It empowers the central and state pollution control board to meet with grave emergencies of air pollution. If there is any emergencies, it has the power was given to central pollution control board as well as state control board to take any action in the emergency of air pollution. 1988, Motor Vehicular Act was started. In this, the states that are hazardous, states that all hazardous waste is to be properly packed, labeled and transported. It was duty of state. The duty was given to state to manage the hazardous waste under Motor Vehicular Act. Next is, now we have talked about the acts, different acts, EPA, water, air. We have talked about different acts. Under these acts, we have talked about the different sub acts, right? Now, and different amendments. Now we'll discuss about the penalties. What will be the penalties if we violate these rules, right? So under this section 37 deals with these. Punishment for violating any of the rule under this act shall be imprisonment for term which shall not be less than 1 year or 6 months, or may extend it to 6 years or with fine. So in case failure continues, additional fine of rupees 500 per day. If failure continues beyond 1 year, the punishment shall be imprisonment for term which shall not be less than 2 years and may extend to 7 years with fine. Now coming to fly ash utilization, it is one of the most problematic issues. Fly ash utilization, and it contributes hugely in this what you call air pollution. Fly ash, it contributes to contamination of air in the form of aerosol and other dust particles. The ministry has established notification on 14 September 1999 on utilization of fly ash under Environment Protection Act 1986. with different further amendments. The objective of this act is to conserve soil, prevent dumping, disposal of fly ash from coal, lignite based thermal power plants. The mandates use of fly ash based product within 100 kilometers from the coal or the lignite based thermal power plant. These are the some this mandates that has been prepared to use the fly ash, how we can use the fly ash for different products, right? For example, construction of building by construction agencies, embankment of roads and flyovers by contractors, and in backfilling and stowing of mine voids by concerned agencies, in reclamation of low-lying areas by concerned agencies. Now, if we talk about the energy efficiency, it is now the need of our for shift from conventional sources to alternative sources of energy, like hydro, solar, wind, these sources of energy. In this regard, policy innovations to promote efficient use of energy through measures such as perform, achieve and trade mechanism covers facilities that accounts for more than 50% of fossil fuel use in India. So, green rating for integrated habitat assessment, the 5-year rating system introduced by Ministry of New Renewable Energy and TERI, which rates a building on set criteria its environment performance over the entire life cycle. India is promoting blending of cement, which replaces the limestone requirements, and alternative binders and the composite materials such as fly ash, slag, red mud have resource efficiency potentials to reduce input of limestone. Now